West Ham have just signed a player who PSG really wanted to sign. This is the world we live in. Gianluca Scamacca, here he is. He is a very nice Italian striker, a complete all-round centre forward. This is a really, really massive signing for West Ham. It's a huge deal. People in Serie A have talked about this guy for years. He's in the Italy international squad, and now he plays for West Ham. Well, what sort of player is he? What are they getting? Well, he's very tall, that helps. He's 6'5", he's very powerful, he's very quick. So for a big man, he's got very fast legs. He strikes the ball really well, excellent technique. I'm going to show you exactly the kind of things he can do and what he's going to do for them. His coaches in the past have said that his idol was Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's not exactly like that. He is skillful, but he's going to play in the sort of number 9 role. So where Antonio would play. I don't know if he'll start every single game straight away. You'd think for the amount of money they spent on him that he might, but it gives them options as well. So they can play, sometimes West Ham play a back 3. So they bring in someone like Ogbonna here and they play Cresswell and Johnson, or maybe they'll play Soufal is the wing backs. You could take out one of these midfielders, Fornals might come out. Then you'll have these two here, that's a 3, a 2, and that's 1, maybe like this, like that sort of shape there. So then what you can get is you can play the ball long from the back, from these centre backs. They've signed this guy as well from a team in France, I've forgotten what that is. But the ball can go long to these guys, they can take it down, because Scamacca, although he's very tall, he's not hugely aggressive in the air, and he does score headers, but he's not prolific with it. What he's very good at doing is taking the ball down on his chest. This is something a lot of players David Moyes has had over the years have done. Players like Marouane Fellaini, that sort of thing. They're very tall, but they don't just knock the ball and try and go for knockdowns. They can take it down on the chest, really good control. Antonio's the same, when he pulls out often to the wide areas, things like that. I'm not sure this is what they'll do, but it's an option if they want to. But largely what I think is going to happen is they'll play the 4-2-3-1, which they've always played under Moyes. Put Bowen here, Scamacca will be here, and then you'll have maybe one of Pablo Fornals probably playing in behind him as the 10. Now, Scamacca, not hugely prolific, he scored 16 goals in 25 starts and 11 sub-appearances for Sassuolo last season. It's his first proper full season really playing for Sassuolo. His stats, if I can show you the way he looks, if we look at Smarter Scout. So Smarter Scout is a really cool tool, and these are all graphics made by Mark Carey. We all love Dr. Mark Carey. So this is Scamacca's sort of things, and it shows us what sort of player he is, not how good he is at it, but what he does a lot of is link up the play. What he does a lot of is take shots, lots of shots here. And what he also does very well is disrupting opposition moves. So he can work and help press from the front. He's good at linking with the midfield, very important for West Ham, because you don't want your striker to get isolated when he's up front on his own. And he also takes a lot of shots, very important as a striker. And the way he links it, if you look at some highlights of him playing, so it'll be this sort of thing. So I'll put them into their attacking shape. Bowen will come inside here. Scamacca will be maybe a number 9 here. Fornals float around nearby. Move the team up. Obviously we know from West Ham, Souček likes to get into the box as well to help with scoring goals from wide areas. Let's get rid of one of these guys and give them an actual shape. So that's a 4. Cresswell wide, very important player. Now what Scamacca will do quite often, let's see the ball's in here with Souček or Rice, something like that, is he'll drop into a little bit of space. He won't play just off the last man all the time. He likes to play just slightly off, maybe a couple of yards, so we can have a bit of no one can grab them their shirt and get shirt tight. He likes to stand a little bit off them. Ball comes into him, he'll play an instant first time pass, and then he'll make the run. And he's quick, so if he makes a sort of run, he drops in, maybe creates a little bit of space with playing a defender with him. The ball goes first time very often to these sorts of areas, and then the through ball can come back in, so he can play a nice little clever 1-2. Lots of examples of him doing this. He's also good at shielding the ball because he's quite tall, so that's really helps with your, just your balance, being able to hold people off. So he can spin round, skillful. He can use both feet to help lay off the ball and pass it. He's a really clever sort of player. But I can show you more with some data. Or actually, even better than data, is showing you little examples of him scoring goals. Because what sort of player is this guy? Now, if we go on FBref, they can tell you what players are sort of similar to the players based on the data. And they put him, players similar are players like Tammy Abraham at Roma, Marko Arnautovic, interestingly, at Bologna, obviously an ex-West Ham player, Jamie Vardy, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, very fast players, play off the shoulder of the last man. He's a bit of everything, he can do all the sorts of bits. So like here's an example of the sort of goals we're going to see from him. And if Sassuolo are not a great team, and they often get to, so teams will attack them because they know they're going to sit back a little bit, so they often get to hit on counter-attack. And you can see, this is Scamacca here, the big tall lad here, right? So the ball's round about here, there's a bit of a turnover, and they attack, Sassuolo are they. The ball comes here as a 10. Now you can see, he's ready from going from this position here. He waits until the ball is like, he basically times his run to make sure he can be at full speed by the time the through ball's coming in behind him. So the through ball's going to come at some point around this defender. It's very obvious where it's going to go. He knows he's on side. He's got this guy here. But other than this very basic kind of positioning and movement stuff, it's more his physical speed we're looking at here and how he gets in behind. The ball comes in. He's timed it so he's on side. Very good. The ball comes through to him. He gets to this sort of area here, takes a touch, holds the defender off and finishes really powerfully, like a really clean strike into the bottom corner. This is one of the things he's best at, striking the ball, which is very important as a striker. So that's just like playing on the counter-attack, attacking space, timing your runs, really important. The kind of thing we've seen West Ham do a lot. Antonio's been really good at it for West Ham. But also, you mentioned earlier that he's good at taking the ball down on his chest. So here's a goal that Sassuolo score against Napoli, 2-0 down here in this example. Ball comes in from a wide area. Now, this is him here, tall. Again, he's not attacking the space immediately, he's timing his run so he can attack the space rather than be in it. If you're just in the space, then you can be marked and you've got to go from a standing still jump to try and get a header on it or something like that. The ball comes in from here, it's going to go to this area, he's guessing, he starts making a run to the front post, sees the flight of the ball, checks his run, and ends up in the middle of the penalty area here, because you kind of want to be here. Now this is him chesting the ball up in the air. In this congested area, rather than trying to head it or stoop down, takes the ball in his chest, puts it up in the air, because that means he's got a bit of time to reposition himself and absolutely welly all hell out of it into the back of the net. The keeper's got absolutely no chance here. So this is the chest into the air, and the ball lands down and he smashes it right in the back of the net, takes the goal off. Really good goal. So that's the kind of thing he does with his chest. He can help link play by bringing it down on his chest or chest the ball rather than head it. And I was speaking to James Horncastle about this player, and he said that's what he likes to do. He likes to chest the ball down and just smack it rather than head the ball, even though he's really tall. Here's an example of his excellent, I think, first touch and awareness of where the defender is. This is Scamacca here, playing against Fiorentina. The ball comes in from this player here. He's going to try and thread it through between the centre-back here and the full-back because of the way that he's running. And he's positioned his body so he's open to be able to receive on his back foot, this foot here, the right foot. And the defender knows what will happen here. So this is what's clever with Scamacca. So the ball comes in, controls it on his right foot here. Now this looks like he's going to have the ball facing the defender who can just come across and steal it, but he does this and then immediately pivots a little bit to the side, so he just turns a little bit off this first touch. He just cushions it, takes it on the side a little bit, and that means the defender has to make up another yard or so, which gives him the yard to be able to hit the shot. And this is brilliant, like brilliant play. You can't see it because it's been filmed on a potato. Fires in the bottom corner here, like the keeper's got no chance. That kind of technique is really, really, really impressive and will be something that hopefully West Ham will benefit from. But he does score headers, this is the thing, and he's tall, he's massive, so he can score these sorts of things quite easily. Now the ball's obviously wide here, so there's this player here, Scamacca, the number 9, so he's going to try and take the natural run here, the defender can see it, he's going to try and run across this space here, because that's where the low ball could go in, you could tap in it in the near post. But what he does is, again, he makes a run towards here and slightly checks back when he reads where the ball's going to go. This is him now, making the check. You can see he's swerving his body a little bit to stay in the penalty area. Really always in that penalty area, just in that little penalty spot, I should say. So he knows the ball's going to go. And then, great technique, stoops down to be able to head it, smashes it past the keeper, goal. So this guy can do pretty much all of it. And it's relevant probably to look at how West Ham play. So 23% of their goals in the Premier League last season were from set pieces. This guy's not an absolute machine when it comes to set pieces, but there's loads of examples of him just being the tallest guy at a corner. Ball comes in, he's taller than everyone else, nods it in. Really useful for set pieces. West Ham base a lot of they spend a lot of time on set pieces basically. It's a large number of goals to score from that. 10% of the goals were counter-attacks, quite a large number compared to other teams in the Premier League last season. This is who scored data. So again, with the first goal we saw where he gets in behind the defence, it's going to be relevant. It's going to be useful for scoring goals from set pieces. They've got Aaron Cresswell on the left who's really good at delivering the ball. That's going to be a huge asset for them. And you look at players David Moyes has signed in the past, players like Fellaini, Souček, tall players. He knows how to maximise their abilities, doesn't rely on them just being the thing you shell the ball towards and they head it on. They can take it down, he makes them better. The one thing to look out for is that Sassuolo, there's very little pressure. Premier League's a huge jump. He'll be playing against different sorts of players. Might not get as much space as he's had before. West Ham are often, like Sassuolo, playing on the back foot, but he can play both that sort of style and in a possession-based game. He can score all sorts of goals. He's a complete centre forward. Roberto Mancini thinks he's got everything. What does he say? Roberto Mancini says he has everything it takes to become a complete centre forward. So that is Gianluca Scamacca to West Ham A very exciting signing.
If you'd like to see sensible transfers for your team, then you are in luck, because we've written sensible transfers articles for every team in the Premier League and published them on The Athletic. To read them, you can get a 30-day free trial for The Athletic by clicking the link in the description. Thanks for watching today's video.